So we're all ready for Gunstar Superheroes by Danray. Give it up.
All right, so I'm Danray, and I'm going to be running Gunstar Superheroes. With me are VB and Zmaster. This won't be the last you'll see of us this week. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is movement. So you have a couple different options, and basically what you're going to try to do to move the fastest is you're going to slide, and then you're going to cancel it with an uppercut, cancel that with a dive kick, and then cancel it all back into a slide. And it's not crazy fast, but it's just a little time saves throughout the whole run. And you'll notice at the top I have this big yellow bar. Now it's glowing red. That means I have my super attack charged up. And there's also 3 balls next to it. Right now I'm using the middle one, which is the fire attack. It's by far my highest DPS attack. It's not going to be super useful for the whole run, but it's really good for this stage, so I'm charging it up right now. I also have a sword attack, but you won't be seeing me use that much in the game. It just looks like this. The only time I'll really be using it is to cancel other stuff into it, just to end slides early and so forth. So this boss has 3 hitboxes. He has his head and his 2 hands, and the strategy here is his head is the only thing that actually takes damage. And so you try to sort of juggle it so that you're only killing one hand at a time, like that. If you kill both hands, he goes into a different attack phase where he goes into the background and you can't hurt him. So it's just juggling, keeping one hand damaged at a time, so he has to shake it out and he can't attack you back. So that was a pretty good stage 1. Going into stage 2, I'm just going to sort of switch weapons and start charging up my plasma attack. And this is a really good time for donations if we have any, because this part's kind of an auto-scroller.
Yeah, we've got some. We've got $10 from Doc Reactions. Kia Ora from New Zealand. Really enjoying all of these runs tonight. You're all awesome, and what a great cause. Keep up the good work.
You can do a few more.
Yeah, there's also a $100 donation from Cookie Mom. Shout out to the guy in the front row staying hype for the treasure block. This $100 donation is for you.
This section, all the patterns are sort of set, and you can clear it a little bit faster just by clearing the last enemy in each wave a little bit quicker. Most of the enemies actually don't matter how fast I kill them, I just know where they all are. It's just the last set. So like this string of enemies right here is the one that I need to kill to advance. And I'm almost done with this section here, and you're going to see soon why I use the plasma so much in this run for basically anything that doesn't have iframes, or for anything that does have iframes rather. It's going to do a decent amount of damage, and it's also going to charge up really fast. Okay. So that wasn't too bad. So now we have this little snaky boy. And you'll see my meter at the top. It's not actually going down, which is a bit of an oversight in my opinion. And you'll see it just takes out enemies super fast, so that enemy's all the way done. Luckily they give you a ton of health here, so it doesn't really matter that I took damage earlier. This next section is one of the faster movement sections of the run. We're going to pick up some chicks right here. It's actually, oh wow, that was the last guy that could hit me. So that's unfortunate. Normally that guy doesn't pop out, so I must have been a little bit off on my movement. It's actually really hard because the ground is spinning and sometimes you won't be standing on it stably. There's going to be a section here that's actually really hard to jump up this pyramid really fast. And then there's going to be a comical mini-boss at the end of it. Okay, wait for him to finish.
Those stairs are much harder than they look.
Okay, he's done. So this boss has a bit of a stun lock. hopefully I can get it. First off, she has 2 different attacks she can do. She can either do a jump or a step. I want her to do the step. So she should step with her right foot. Yeah, good. And then if you chain your attacks correctly here, she can't really do anything. She has another jump attack she'll do, but that was good. So this next section is going to be a bit different. And it's actually really hard. I'm going to make it look really easy. I promise it's not that easy. So this is this shmup section sort of area, and it's going to look really simple, but all the attacks will give you knockback, and it stuns you. And you can just get comboed infinitely into death. So this section coming up I'm really worried about, actually. I'm going to dodge these a little bit. And this part you can just get blocked. Okay, that was really good. As long as I have 60 health through there, I'm good, but sometimes you can just go from 100 to death instantly. And this next boss, this is insanely hard if you're playing it normally, but there's a secret trick here is to take those guys out and just mash the bombs and slam into them. He can actually cancel your bomb attacks, so it's better to just tank all the damage right there. But again, if you're too far out, there's a billion bullets. I showed these guys earlier. It's actually ridiculous. I don't know how they expected anybody to beat it on hard.
It's literally Toho.
Except your hitbox is half the screen.
Yeah.
So coming up is one of my favorite bosses in the run. And you'll also see some of the sword tech coming up. But this boss, he has one of my favorite lines. He's orange, and he says he's going to take me down with a single blow of my fist, or a single blow of his fist. So we'll see how that goes for him. Jump up a little early off that plane. So I'm going to use my swords here to cancel these slides. Not that one. Okay, that's a good spot. So all the bosses have cutscenes, and up until this point I've been skipping them all, but he's actually vulnerable during his cutscene. I don't think they expected you to be able to get on top of the plane, but you actually can. Yeah. To be fair to Orange, he's actually not lying. He does like 40 damage or something like that. So if you're lower health, he will kill you with a single hit. Also, saving is really bad in this game, but I'm going to do it because I'm really worried about it. This section's kind of like the other section. It's all about clearing waves as fast as possible. And I'm going to do that, like, you can actually, with the plasma weapon, each individual one of those things does damage. So I'll start far away and then I'll move in closer to him just to stack the damage a little bit faster. This section here is pretty comical, so it's normally actually a little bit difficult, but if you know where they're coming from, they just never have a chance. Poor guys. Next set. Oh my gosh, this is such a bad transition. What? It loaded like all the enemies at once. What is that? I've never seen that before. So it'll wait till you're at like the end of a set of tracks to sort of transition. Like it'll do cycles. I've never seen it load all of them at once before. This section here, it's a mini boss and he starts throwing all these enemies out of the train. And if you let it get out of hand, it can get really bad, but as long as you stand close and you start firing before it starts, they just won't really have time to build up on screen. So this is the 7 Force fight, and it's mostly pretty straightforward. We basically want him to stay horizontal at the start and then like transition to the vertical and do all the verticals in a row. So this is a good start. And it's just going to be plasma for most of it. Actually, for all of it. Okay, so that's a bad transition because you lose time every time you switch between the horizontal and the vertical tracks. Wheel is hysterical. It has no invincibility frame, so it dies instantly. I'm going to take one hit there. You can take no hits there, but it's pretty tight. I want him to do a shooting attack. See, the plasma actually blocks beam attacks too, so it makes stuff like that a little bit trivial. And then this guy, he has a bunch of attacks, but if you do it right here, you'll destroy them right before they get to you. And then Bo is just dodge the first one, and then you're good. So that was a good fight. Not good RNG, but it was a good fight. Green's going to be a bit of a pain later on. Okay, I'm going to grab some extra health here. My normal health right here is actually extremely tight. Like, I end up with like 5 health at the end usually. Oh, I got squished, so it's a good thing I got the extra health. That little helicopter thing there can squish you if you do your uppercut a little bit too early. So next is the board game section, or rather the dice roll section. And unlike the first game, this one is entirely timing based, so that makes it really nice to run this game as opposed to like the original Gunstar Heroes, where it's just an RNG mess. Okay, that's a good first roll. Hopefully I can get the combo off here. Nice, that's good RNG actually. Don't blink on this next one. Goodbye. So you actually have to land on this item stage. It's how you advance on the board. So, but I'm going to use the opportunity to pick up a little bit of extra weapon ammo. Okay, good. Sometimes blocks will get stuck there and you'll just get trapped. Okay. I really don't want to land on the first stage of the troop barracks, because it's a long section where you have to kill a bunch of mini-bosses, basically. Good fight. You have to actually switch. You have to switch weapons there, which makes it a little bit difficult. So the reason I have so much health here is because this guy's legs actually do 60 damage. So basically all my health is gone. And then I'm going to try to do damage to him in a certain way so that he has missiles out, so I can just take damage off the missiles, because those only do 20. Also, he's been doing this attack pattern lately, and I've never seen it before, like today. He has 3 different patterns, I guess. I thought it was only 2, but I guess there's a third one if you go a little bit differently than normal. Okay, missile. Hopefully I can make it through that. Okay. That was almost game over. Okay, that was a good fight. That's probably the hardest fight normally. And maybe green, but that's a hard fight normally. It's a hard fight in the run too. And then this guy does pot shots at you. A fun little trick here is you can take this guy up on the ship with you. He falls off. Yeah. So this section has these little fire geysers, I guess, and so I'm going to take it a little bit safe. If you're doing the easier difficulties, you can just slide through them, but on hard mode, they actually go really fast, and they will combo you until you have like 20 health left. So it's better to just, okay. Okay, so I didn't get the combo at least. There we go. So now I'm on the paddle. The health here isn't that important as long as I keep like above a certain amount. You'll see why. The health is pretty silly in hard mode, to be honest. That's like the main thing I can take damage from. Hopefully I can combo this guy pretty good. Nice. That guy can combo you really bad because he has a lot of invulnerability frames on a lot of his attacks, but as long as he does that jumping dive kick, it's pretty much free. So this is my main gripe with the game. So you're playing on hard mode and you have certain stuff doing 60 damage and basically killing you instantly, and then you'll get to other parts of the game and I don't think they balance the damage correctly in this section because you only take 1 damage from pretty much everything. So this section I usually use to check Twitter. Just do whatever. Talk to chat. You can take some donations.
Yeah, we've got one from Grace Miss Metal Gear, a $5 donation. Shout out to the guy in the front row rocking out to GoldenEye music.
Yeah, you can do a couple more actually.
Yeah, I would like to remind everyone of Annapurna Interactive, one of our sponsors. They are the publisher of What Reminds of Edith Finch, Gorogoa and Florence. They are releasing more games this year and love creators and creative titles. So go visit them at annapurnainteractive.com.
As you'll see on that mini-boss, you can just sort of hide in the main gun. The next one's a little bit more difficult, but it's really not that bad. The hardest thing in this entire stage is lining up this stupid beam. You have to use L and R to turn the ship, and it's actually impossible. Okay. Oh, here's a fun little thing you can do here. So since you're sort of trapped in a box that's moving, and you can move around within the box, but if you just stay on the bottom right of the box, you'll just clip through all these walls. It doesn't save any time, but it's fun to do. And then the second mini boss, he'll shoot beam attacks out, and the main thing you want to try to do is to keep both of your weapons on him at the same time. One last clip. And it's kind of hard because you actually have to dodge some of his attacks. It's not like the other one where you can just hide in the gun and like profit. He's actually going to shoot some stuff from the bottom, and you have to dodge the second set every time. And sometimes I try to do it too optimally and get hit, and every time you get hit, you stop shooting, so that's really slow. So there's one more of these sort of shooting on top of the ship sections, and unlike the other one, this one is entirely like globally cycled. So we can actually get 2 or 3 more donations in during this period, because I'm just going to be charging up my plasma beam for the boss rush.
We sure have some. We've got a $20 donation from Hashmir. Danray, you said the magic words. I'll be donating $20 every time I hear, "That's never happened before." Good luck, mate, and greetings from Australia. So we've got another $5 donation from Uncle Scars. To the blue shirt guy, we all love you in chat. You two-plate shirt guy. Also, we have to kill those animals.
I call this the rave party. And that's what happens when you kill all the cycles super early. It's just waiting on a global cycle, so you just sit there.
Then I would like to quickly remind everyone of the Yeti. They are supporting GameStun Quick Events since 2012 and selling our official merch. You can get the official SGDQ tees and more at theyeti.com, spelled THEYETEE.com.
So I guess I could talk about the third weapon here. You also have a third weapon that's like a tracing weapon. Many of you might be familiar with it from the Gunstar Heroes game. It's pretty much useless. It does really little damage, so I'd never use it. I guess I should start talking about the boss rush. So the first part's going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to be using plasma. The main thing in the boss rush is the green fight, because most of it's set patterns, but on the green fight, you actually have RNG, basically. And he's going to choose any of those 7 forms that he was using before, and some of them are really fast and others are really slow. It doesn't really matter that I took damage there. I've collected extra health. So with pink, you just keep playing the plasma on until you wait for these bombs, and then she goes into a vulnerable phase, and then you start up again. If you try to do, you can get a 1 cycle, but sometimes it'll do funky stuff. And they saw it in the practice room earlier, like, nice clip here. But basically, like, the guys that are helping her can start jumping around. Poor Orange, he never gets a chance. But the guys that are helping her can start jumping around, and it gets a little annoying. He'll never know if he can take me down with a single blow of his fist. Nice pause. I wanted to go skip the cutscene, but it was already over. So you can use tracing here to track where he's going to be coming out of the ground on. And it's basically, this section's pretty simple. He'll never come out of the same spot twice. And then there's a section later where there are vertical green beams, and he'll never come up in where there's a vertical green beam, at least never that I've seen. So it's basically just calculating where the ground's going to be and making sure you know where the options are, so you know that you're not wasting time going up on those sections. So these beams, he'll never show up on those. So this is really bad luck. This is what I'm talking about. You have to strafe and use the gun when that happens. What you want is you want the green beam to pop up where he's coming out, like this, because then you always have the options open. So this has been really good luck. Yeah. So it's time for green. I'm going to try to get as much damage down at the start as I can. As soon as the door opens, jeez. So you can get some damage on him there, and then after that, it's all random. This is one of the worst transformations. This is another really bad one. Luckily, I have lots of health. This is a really good one, so he just sort of takes damage on this one. This is an okay one. I'm going to take a bit of damage here. It's better just tank it. Okay. There should be one more transformation left after this. Okay, good. I have very little ammo left, and that's a little concerning, but this next section, you basically want to take damage from the blue and the green hands. So he has all these different gems that are going to attack you. And the green one and the blue one do very little damage, so I'm going to try to not run out of bar, but I'll probably get hit here. If you time your plasma just right, you won't get hit there, but you usually do. Time is coming up when enemy health hits 0, by the way. So if you do a really nice cycle, you can take very little damage here, but it's not very common. And time. That was deathless, so that was pretty good. I'm going to go through the credits real quick just to get the in-game time.
Do you use IGT or real time for this?
We use real time, but it's pretty consistent.
Okay.
So the in-game time should give me a pretty good. Yeah, 2033, so that's like 30 seconds off my best time. So that's pretty good. Thank you all for watching Gunstar Heroes. Continue watching the marathon. Lots of great runs coming up.
Shouts to Scrub Busta.
Shout out to Scrub Busta. I love you, Dad.
The best GBA speedrunner of all time.
So thank you, Danray, for bringing us Gunstar Superheroes. And next up will be Gauntlet Legends by Boyo. So stay tuned. There are still incentives to be reached. One of them is Enter the Gungeon alternate costume. So you can play the game. We can play the game with an alternate costume. That one's at $4,435 and 5,000 need to be reached. So get in your donations. Another incentive, which is not too far away, is the Mega Man X2 bonus game. That one's currently at $3,300 and will need to reach 25,000. So get in those donations if you want to see Mega Man X2. Another of our sponsors is ViewSonic. They are the leading global provider of visual solution products. They are monitor experts with 30 years of experience. You can find them at www.viewsonic.com/gaming. There's also currently a bid war going on to choose the language in Simpsons Hit and Run. There are the options Spanish, French, English, and German. And German is currently leading by far. So we've got $1,661 on German, and French is the next one with $415. So if you want to not hear them speak German, get in those donations. Another of our sponsors is Power Up Audio. They are an indie sound studio from Vancouver, Canada. They worked on games such as Super Meat Boy Forever and Time Spinner. The entire team is here at SGDQ. There are also prizes you can get eligible for if you donate right now. For $15, you can get the Ninja Gaiden soundtrack. And if you donate $150 cumulative, you can get an 8th generation console bundle and a gaming PC. So if you want to get a chance to get those prizes, get in the donations. Another incentive which is currently going on is Skyward Sword Blindfolded Demise. That one's sitting at $2,000 and will need to reach $15,000 to see the runner fight the last boss Demise blindfolded. So if you want to see that challenge, get into donations. We've got a $250 donation from Lone Soldier saying, "Blue shirt guy is the best." Donation to his choice. Another one mentioning the front row, $15 from 4007. Planning on dropping more later this week, but here's a quick donation for the guy in the front row doing the YMCA. Props for keeping it fun this early in the morning. This donation goes towards front row blue shirt guy's choice. So that's already $265 to his choice. Those donations could go to the bonus game Mega Man X2, which would be in the setup block 1 and be a buster-only run by Danray. That one's currently sitting at $3,400 and will need to reach $25,000. So get in those donations. I would like to remind you that all donations go to Doctors Without Borders, or MSF. Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, is a medical humanitarian organization working in more than 60 countries around the world. MSF is a private international association. MSF provides assistance to populations in distress, to victims of natural or man-made disasters, and to victims of armed conflict. They do so irrespective of race, religion, creed, or political convictions. Find out more at doctorswithoutborders.org. You should definitely check them out. Their work is much appreciated around the world.